Welcome back, everybody, to the now Lindemann Outdoors podcast. We're no longer going to be Racks and Reels. We just had some kind of a discussion about where we want the brand to go, and we want to be true to ourselves and true to you guys, and can't be any more true than our very own last name. So we're just going to stick with the Lindemann Outdoors podcast. Still the same stuff. We're not going to change anything like that, but to all you, loyal listeners so far, nothing's going to change. It's still the same account. So you can just, instead of the search channel Racks and Reels, just find us at Lindemann Outdoors Podcast.
Plus, along with our outdoor store, it's going to work a lot easier for everybody. It's a one-stop shop now. We can just go right to, Lindemann Outdoors. You'll be able to find our podcast, our videos, our merchandise. Eventually we're going to have products on there to help you with your hunting and fishing. And we think it's just going to be great. Once again, you're joined by Jeremy and Jacob Lindemann. Jacob Lindemann, your main host. Myself, the co-host.
Yeah, we're here to talk about it's gonna be more of a tip kind of episode, but we want to do a Lake of the Woods fishing report for the first weekend of June.
Correct. The fishing on Lake of the Woods right now is heating up.
Yeah, lots of people are catching fish, not just us, but we had a pretty good day. We'll talk about it in our next podcast, but we had my good buddy and old football teammate, Griffin. He came out on the boat with us for our maiden voyage, and it was a bit windy, but we got her done.
Yeah, the fish right now are, they spawned early this year because it warmed up early, but then it got cold again. So we've been battling with some colder water temperatures. And I think because of that, the fish are in several different locations. I've talked to people that have been out deep jigging. They're finding fish. There's been people fishing shallow. They're finding fish. They're finding fish in the weeds. They're finding fish all over. And on a big lake like Lake of the Woods, you just got to cover water and find where the fish are and see what they like. I've heard that the minnows, jigging a minnow has been really good, which would make a lot of sense with the cooler temperatures. Usually we don't see them switch to crawlers until we get closer to the end of June where the water heats up a little bit and then we start to get some of those bug hatches on the bottom of the lake. So, if you're out there, you can, like we started out in, 12 feet of water, and just kind of looked around for the fish and then we eventually found them. But right now, for as far as fishing report, get out there, pick up some minnows. Maybe not a bad time to start throwing some slip bobbers with some leeches. Not a lot of people do that on Lake of the Woods, but it is a very effective way to catch walleyes, especially if you can find some, on some deeper structure or on a weed line. We don't do a lot of slip bobber fishing, though, do we, Jacob? I think I do more than you do.
Yeah, no, we only do one style really because it works best for us, but we were trolling crankbaits.
Yep. And trolling crankbaits early in the year, you have to really watch your speed doing that. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people think they don't work early in the year. We probably shouldn't tell people they work, but luckily we only have about 30 people that listen to this podcast. So
I guess we'll share the whole Lake of the Woods with those 30 people.
Yeah, we'll help our loyal listeners, our loyal followers to catch more fish because that's what we're all about here.
Yep. Yeah, we started out trying, we had 3 guys in the boat, so we had 3 different colors. Everyone usually probably knows this fish in Lake of the Woods, but a chrome blue. I started out with that.
Oh, you're going to tell them the colors?
Yeah, chrome blue. I mean, I didn't tell them what type or what size, but I can give them a. And plus, that chrome blue didn't work at all. So.
You can tell them that we need a number 7 out there.
Yeah, something like that.
This time of year works really well because a lot of the shiners about that same size. And
yeah, but
they like those emerald shiners.
Yeah, but the chrome blue didn't work. Green wasn't really that aggressive, unless you're a pike.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah,
if
so
you're
let's talk
trying,
a little bit about that. Colors. You know, color color matters. It does. It especially when it comes to walleye. He likes to. It's strange how they'll bite a flashy color that looks nothing like a fish, and also they'll key in on things that look like their prey.
yep,
Uh, so it's important to try a variety of colors, and it depends on your water clarity, your time of day, how much sun you have out, makes a big difference. Also, what they're feeding on makes a big difference. Um, but what you do is you get out there, and like Jacob said, if you have more than one guy in the boat, which is great because you can put on multiple colors and then see what the fish start to key in on.
yep,
We're not
yeah.
going to talk about the color that they were going after. We're going to save that for a mystery reveal. That'll become on our website where you can buy this lure once you see our video of what to use.
Yep.
How about that? Should we do that, or should we just tell them it was purple?
Well, I was gonna say it rhymes with bold and it rhymes with thurple.
Yeah, there's only Lake of the Woods. You really only need two colors.
Yep,
And that's gold and that's silver.
yep,
If you can put a little color on top of that, they seem to love it.
yep. No, they were. Yeah, we gave Griff the golden lure, I guess, and he was just out fishing us. And in our boat, we always have a rule that I think is a good tip for anybody. You know, if the guy next to you is out fishing you 3-1 on that certain type of color, I would switch to that color.
Yeah, that's not a coincidence. That is now what we call a pattern.
Yep,
I've been on a boat where they're using hammered gold spinners, and one person had a hammered gold spinner with a little blue strip of glitter on it, and they were catching fish, 3-1, like you said.
yep.
It's a good idea to switch everybody in the boat to that until they stop hitting it, and then obviously, you would try a different color, and you got to fine tune that as you go.
Yeah, and that's the thing with especially Lake of the Woods is the fish seem to change throughout the day. I mean, the weather front moves in, they'll like something different. Certain cloud covers they'll like something a little shinier, super bright. You probably don't need the chrome because the water's a little clear. So,
Yeah, don't
but
be afraid to change it up if it slows down a little.
yeah, no, I'm I'm the experimenter in the boat. Because I'm usually the one guy using I'm the dip netter, so I'll be the one to experiment the most. So I tried, I think like 5 or 6 different colors. I did a green, I did a chartreuse, I did a kind of the really pale, minnow looking one. I tried, you know, a perch colored one. I tried a segmented kind of purpley red one, but just the purple and gold, it was lights out.
They were hammering it.
Yeah, not only were they just biting it more, they were biting it more aggressive. They was further down their mouths than the other ones.
That's true. They whatever it looked like in the water there, it made them really get after it. So I mean, and that was fun. I mean, we caught a ton of walleyes. I tell people all the time, if you're gonna troll on that lake, what you do is you just start out in a depth and start zigzagging in and out until you find the fish.
Yep,
Luckily for us, we had just installed a new Hummingbird with side imaging on it. And as I was driving the boat, I could see there were more fish to the left of us than there was to the right of us. So obviously I just angled the boat that way.
yep,
We started picking them up. And then once we, figured out our depth and we figured out our speed, which, the water temperature is pretty cold. So you want to be right in that anywhere from 2 miles an hour to maybe no faster than 2.6
yeah. If
miles per
we
hour.
if we got going 3, then it was too fast, and if you got going like 1.7, it was way too slow. So
Speed matters when you're trolling crankbaits. Um,
Yep.
But yeah, the fishing is good. We've
Yeah, the
had some
bit.
rough, windy days, rain, thunderstorms. If we get a couple days where we get a stable weather pattern and some sunshine, I think it's just going to be absolutely lights out on Lake of the Woods.
Yep. Yeah, and then the big pike they're biting too. We didn't land one, but we had two just probably 45 plus. I mean, I'm just guessing, but they were they were pulling the boat and they were
You won't land them. You can
breaking
make them
lines
fish if
and
you want.
you know
Yeah, I didn't see that fish, but I'm quite sure it was 50 inches. I'm pretty sure it was the new state record pike.
you
I'm quite
yeah,
sure.
it was huge. I mean,
Good
but
stuff.
yeah, and Griff he hooked into a big one, and that purple and gold, it's now in the bottom of the lake somewhere, sadly. So
Yep. It'll float up and wash up on shore. And, you know, there's a lot of people that walk the shore looking for lures
yeah,
and beach glass and, stuff like that. Driftwood. They'll find it someday.
yeah, but no, if you can get out in the water and battle the weather, the fish are biting. So
That's a fact.
yeah.
Just gotta get out there.
No, I think that about does it for our early June Lake of the Woods fishing report. We'll have more as the season goes. If all of a sudden purple and gold doesn't work anymore, we're sorry, but it's worked for us. So
Well, it isn't just purple and gold that was working.
yeah,
As far as the fishing goes, there's people. I talked to several people that were pulling bottom bouncers with spinners and minnows on, jigs and minnows. Minnows seem to be the key right now, and I think that's just due to the colder water temperatures, and
yep,
we really haven't had a bug hatch yet. You have to match the hatch, as they say, and you figure out what they're feeding on, and that's how you adjust your presentation.
yep, yeah. So thank you guys for listening to this fishing report. We hope this helped you. You're listening to the Lindeman Outdoors podcast. Now, if you go to lindemanoutdoors.org, our merchandise is now live. We got some great items on there. I've been the past, I guess, 6 months now. I've been designing and editing and many iterations. I've been, come up with some great designs for you guys who are outdoorsmen who love to hunt and fish, but also don't take life too seriously and like to have fun with their lives. So, and we just dropped our very own signature camo. That one's really big. I've been wanting to have my own camouflage since I was about 12 years old. So go check that out, guys. In our next podcast, we're going to have a little ad segment with a coupon code that'll get you guys 10% off. So you have to listen to the next one to get that code. So
Yeah, and we're not all about just selling merch and stuff like that, but we do need to fund this podcast. In order to make it better for you, we have to buy some equipment.
yep,
And, we need gas money for the boat too.
yep,
It just
and
doesn't run on hopes and dreams. That's what
no,
we
and
do.
we're gonna keep everything very affordable for everybody. We want everyone to just enjoy our products, and I mean, one I like to shout out is old Robin Hood from the Disney classic from 1973. I gave him a little bit of an upgrade from the old longbow, so that's kind of a fun one I did. So there's a bunch of fun ones on there. Go check it out. But again, if you just want to listen, we appreciate that too. I mean, like and subscribe. Yeah, we're having a lot of fun with this, guys. So thanks for listening.
Yep. We appreciate the working man out there. We're blue collar, hardworking fellers like ourselves. So we're just like you, I should say. So we're gonna make sure that we keep everything affordable. Um, that's really a goal of ours because we know what it's like, having to work for your dollar out there. I think we should keep this rolling, Jacob. I know we were gonna shorten it up, but we kind of merged our fishing report in with our adventure. I mean, we were
Yep.
just jacked up about all the fish that we caught.
Yep.
maybe we should just keep this going a little bit.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean,
and it's a good time to point out that this podcast is real and authentic.
yeah, we
And
don't.
we might mispronounce some words. We can't spell half the words that we're saying. We both played a lot of football. We've been hit in the head multiple times. I mean, it's
Too many
amazing.
times that I can't even count that high. So,
It's luckily for us, we can walk upright and still talk. But you know, it was a good run. We've fallen out of trees. You know, we've done some crazy things.
yeah,
So I don't know. We should maybe just keep talking about fishing.
yeah. I mean, just to kind of run it back, we were first weekend of June there. We went on Lake of the Woods. Yeah, it was very, very windy.
Very windy. Probably if we wouldn't have had company up to take out fishing, people take their time off,
Yep,
come up and come fish with us. We're going to do the best we can to get them out. But you and I just said, well, we're going to go work on food plots today.
yep, yeah. No, it was about. I mean, nothing crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Probably only like,
4 footers.
yeah, 4, maybe 6 on a big gust. But it
Well,
was
coming back, they were 4 to 6 foot.
yeah. On the way back, it was a pretty wet ride, I'd say.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, it was. I wasn't surprised when we got back to the marina and we were the only boat on the lake.
Yeah, that we maybe weren't the smartest people out there, but like we said before, we've been hitting the head a lot. So
But hey, we caught our limit of fish. So we got a 3-man limit of walleyes and we got
the
jumbo
wall,
perch even to have a little fun there. So
yeah, the walleyes were snapping. Once we figured it out, once we found them,
yeah,
it took us a little while to find them, and then also too, we were trying to stay tucked out of the wind as much as we could,
yeah, we were hiding a little bit, but
and thankfully we found some fish in some of those spots where we were out of the wind a little, and then we were able to fine tune things. We talked about that before,
yeah,
dialing in your speed, dialing in the right lures. A lot of people ask us questions like, well, how do you figure out where to go? And honestly, you just look for this time of year, in every time of year, walleyes like they relate to some type of structure.
yeah,
So if you can find a main lake point, you can find the edge of a weed bed, you can find a rock pile, a reef, as they call them up north here. If you can find, where you get an aggressive, we like to find where some depth contour too, where the depths, drop down quickly. Then walleyes will hide on that edge, and wait for bait fish to swim over top of them so they can ambush them.
yeah,
So we'll look at a lake map, and we can, before we even go to a lake, we can pick out the spots where we know these walleyes are going to be,
yeah,
depending upon the time of the year. They're shallower generally at the beginning of the season,
yeah,
and then as it warms up, they move out.
yeah. It's like, well, I mean, we've found walleyes in 5 feet of water, and we've also found them in 10 feet of water.
And we fish them in 30 feet of water a lot of
That's
times.
yep, true.
So it just all depends. You know, but you just got to get out there. Everyone says to us, oh, you guys must be lucky. I wish I could do what you guys do. It's called just go do it, man. Just get
Yeah.
out there and look. I mean, there's a lot of times it takes us a while to find the fish, and we got to try some things. I mean,
I mean, we've gone from we've done the whole bay. We've gone from point to point
and
looking for fish.
we go all over the lake. We've driven all the way up to Garden, for fishing Lake of the Woods. You just start checking rock piles and cover and water. That's what you
Yep.
got to do. It doesn't hurt to stop into your local bait shops. A lot of time they'll tell you, what the fish are hitting on and about what depth. And, a lot of them have a board setting up about, a fishing report of where the fish are at, what depth to start in. A lot of people use the old Norwegian fish finder up here. If you don't know what that is, that's you go out there and then you see some boats and then you go over and fish by them. We don't do
Yep.
that. we prefer to get away from people as much as we can. Matter
Yep.
of fact, I like to go to the parts of the lake where there's nobody at.
Yep. Yeah, I mean,
Everywhere.
also we've been fishing that lake since I was old enough to wear a life jacket and be in the boat. So,
Yeah, we've been fishing that lake for 20 years, and that helps. But we fish a lot of lakes. I mean, I fish all over South Dakota,
yep.
um,
Yeah,
North
we go. We've been
Manitoba.
on small lakes, bass fishing and stuff like that, and it's just knowing what type of fish you're going after, what structures, what areas they like to live in, what they like to eat. It's just a lot of trial and error.
Yep, a lot of trial and error. You know, if you get yourself, so let's talk a little bit about equipment, Jacob.
Yep.
We talked about crankbaits. We talked about color. One thing that's nice to have when you're trolling is a fairly long, medium to heavy action rod. I
Yep.
like 7 feet minimum. Some of our trolling rods are 8 feet.
Yep.
Also, it's nice to have a good line counter reel on, so you can keep track of how far that lure is, because the further you let the lure back, the deeper it'll dive.
Yep.
Now they have apps that will, for trolling, that you can look up your lure and you can see to what depth it will dive to with how many feet of line out. We usually set ours up with 10-pound fire line.
Yep.
The, and actually on most of the packages of the crankbaits you buy, they'll have a depth chart on there that'll show
Yeah, it's on the back.
yeah, shows how deep the lure will run with how many feet of line out.
Yep. I mean, it also, it kind of depends what you're in and what kind of structure you're into. I mean, we'll let line out and what we generally know is a good distance, and then if it starts ticking the bottom, you'll see your rod start, kind of whacking the bottom. You just reel up a couple feet, so you're just rolling about a foot and a half off the bottom, and you kind of just find that sweet spot, and that changes throughout the day. You're letting a couple feet out, reeling a couple feet in.
Yep. Depends on the depth. The fish, they'll move out deeper during the day and then they slide back in the morning and evenings.
Yep.
Um, you just have to, you got to cover ground and you got to find the fish.
Yep.
And
And,
then,
yep.
if you don't see them on your graph, keep
They're-
moving.
Yep. Since we're on the topic of equipment, I think one of the best equipment that you need on the boat is some good snacks.
Oh, boat snack. We forgot that as a thing.
Yeah, yeah. We used to. One of our old time classics was, when you fold that window over in your boat, we have one, the middle folds over to one side. Well, if you take a bag of chocolate chip cookies on a sunny day and you put them under that double window, it'll melt down your chocolate chips and make a nice warm cookie fresh out of the oven.
Yep. That is a pro tip right there.
Yep.
I mean, you could heat up your ham sandwich up there.
Yep.
You could heat up your cookies. One of my favorites is corn nuts.
Oh
And
yeah.
corn nuts, deer jerky from the deer you killed the previous season, and chocolate chip cookies. There's nothing better than that
Nope.
out there.
Maybe some homemade trail mix, and by that I mean just a bag of mixed nuts and then a giant jar of peanut M&Ms.
Now, if
Very
your
healthy.
trail doesn't have 10 M&Ms to one peanut in it, then it's not. That is an essential. That's a fact. You got to have good snacks, especially when the fishing's bad.
Yep.
Twizzlers are a good boat snack.
We've actually caught a walleye on a Twizzler nib before.
It's true. There was a bet. Happened. It happened. Yeah,
Yep.
they will work. They will work. Um, no, it's snacks are important. As
Mm,
always, make sure you have your life preservers.
Yep.
Wear your life jacket out there. The water starts getting rough. You put your life jacket on.
Yep.
That's important because people will accidentally fall out of the boat all the time, and we don't want to see anybody, ever end up,
Yeah.
drowning.
And no matter how good of a swimmer you are, you're 10 times a swimmer when you're wearing a life jacket. So just put one on.
Yeah, and that water is colder than you think, and it'll shock you, and down you'll go. So it's and also if you get knocked away from the boat, you could be treading water for a while. So
Yep.
always wear your life jacket. Always have a life preserver. Have a throwable in your boat. Don't ever skimp on that. And
Yep.
also make sure you follow all the game and fish rules. We had a important lesson. Well, we always follow the rules, but it was reaffirmed for us because we got checked by the game warden when we were out
Yep. Yeah, we came back to the marina and there he was.
waiting for us.
Yep. And
I
he
think he
was
was watching us from shore, just whipping them walleyes into the boat.
Yeah, well, luckily I'm a good counter. I can't read, but I can count, so.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yep.
We you don't need to take more than your limit.
No. I
You
mean, we
got
had a 3-man limit of 12, and if you can eat more than 24 fillets, then you can go back out the next day.
yeah. And even then, you don't need to keep that many fish. I mean, we eat fish. We eat fish and game. That's how we live. Um, we don't go fishing every day, and we don't keep more than we need.
Yeah.
We throw back a lot. I mean, we once caught 40, 50 walleyes that day.
Yeah. I mean, the big ones, they just make more babies, so.
Yeah, we send them back, and we keep those 16 to 17-inch walleyes. They fry up so nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of frying, we had a heck of a fish fry when we
Oh,
got
yeah.
back. That
No, that was good stuff.
Yeah, I actually made a beer, but I mixed together some. I did a dry rub first with a mixture of Cajun and regular shore lunch. So you pat down your fillets, get it nice and dry, and then you dust it. You put it in I mixed the two shore lunches together, the Cajun and the regular. So I patted my fillets in there, and then I made a beer batter out of the other shore lunch. So I dipped the dusted, the seasoned stuff with the Cajun into the beer batter, and then I fried them. I thought they were excellent. They turned
No,
out really.
it was delicious. Yeah. And for those of you wondering why we don't do an egg wash, I recently am allergic to eggs, so no more egg wash and old school classic style, but this was I think it was better than that, so
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, even Griff, who likes fish, but he's not, he doesn't eat it every day, he had like 8 fillets, so,
Yeah, he was chowing down.
you know,
You can't talk about your allergy of where it came from because it involves um, a certain jab of a certain vaccine that
you know,
didn't really pan out to be as good as people thought it would be. But that's all we can say about that. So otherwise, we'll get in trouble.
yeah, the odds were not in my favor, but oh well.
Yeah,
Helps me lose weight. Don't need to eat as many brownies anymore.
that's a fact.
But no, the
No,
fishing was great. I mean, we had a great fish fry. We had a good fit. We got pretty wet with the waves on the way back, so it made a fun story. Yeah, great time. Griff, he caught a nice big 23 and a half inch walleye right off the bat, so that was kind of fun.
yeah, it's always fun when those big walleyes come in the boat.
Yep. And I'll say this though, one thing if you're ever going out fishing, and you're put on the net duty as a as a as a veteran net man, you gotta scoop up about as much water as you can when you scoop up those walleyes. Because once in a while, if you try to go at them horizontal, you might knock off a 30-incher, and someone might be mad at you for,
Your
10, 12 years.
your dad will yell at you the rest of your life and never let it down.
So,
And
go
well,
deep, scoop up underneath them, and just lift them up.
Take about a foot of water with.
Yep.
You know,
Or more if you can.
I still remember you hitting my walleye right between the eyes.
Yep. Well, he just, I don't know. I think he was going back anyways, so.
Yeah, he was, but it'd been nice to hold him for a little.
Well, what can you say? I was 12 years old.
Right. It's like if I ever ran into Jennifer Lawrence, I couldn't keep her because I'm married, but I'd like to hold her for just a little while.
mean, since we talked about the fish fry, is there any? I mean, I've had this question come up with one of our fans. And he's a great guy. You know, shout out Cody. Um, what's the best way besides frying fish, like you said, of way you like eating walleye?
Hmm. That'd have to be the dish I call the cheesy garlic walleye, which is you lay your fillets in a glass baking dish. You then put some butter on there, and don't be like, oh, butter's bad for you. Butter is not bad for you. Butter is the best thing for you. Butter's good for you. So I put a few pats of butter on there, some Lawry seasoning salt. You can throw in a few onions if you want for some flavor. You bake this for 20 minutes at 350 degrees. You take it out of the oven. You sprinkle some shredded cheese on there and a little bit of garlic salt. And then you crush up potato chips on top of it and put it back into the oven and melt the cheese and then take it out and eat it. It is to die for. So you
Yeah,
get a garlic butter walleye
with a
with a
little crunch.
little crunch.
It's amazing.
Yeah, so good.
And if you want to be healthy, you don't have to add the potato chips
Or the cheese.
or the cheese or as much butter, but it's not worth it that way. So just add the cheese and the chips and the butter, and you'll be happy.
Yeah, the butter, a little bit of butter is good.
You
Um, yeah, that's probably the best healthy way to do it, or one of my favorites. I do like a breaded shore lunch, for fish fry, right? Especially when they're fresh, right out of
know.
the lake. That's really good. Um,
Oh, tell us how you made you and Scott Johnson's recipe for the tacos,
Fish
the
tacos.
spicy walleye fish tacos.
Yep. So you take your walleye fillets, cube those up. Actually, make sure you debone them first. We'll do a video someday on how to fillet a walleye and get those bones out of there so you have a nice boneless fillet. So you take that boneless fillet and you cube it up, and then you put it in a Ziploc baggie, and then you add Frank's Red Hot sauce. Now, a lot of people are thinking, oh, that's going to make it really hot and spicy. Actually, it does not.
Oh,
You can't taste it at all once you cook it.
yeah, I'm
So you
about
put
as
it
white
in
as they come and as Norwegian as they come, and I can, I say spicy, but it's kind of a joke because there's no spice at all.
No, you are mighty whitey, that's for sure. But
Yeah,
the thing that you put in there, it adds a little flavor to it. Kind of a tang, kind of you can
a
taste a little bit
little
of the
zip.
pepper, a little zip, but not a lot. It's very, very mild. So and then you bread them. Um, whatever your breading you want to use. Um, shore lunch or uh, you know, whatever panko crumbs, you know, uh, whatever you like to use. Then you fry your walleye, and then you take them out, put them on a taco shell, sour cream, cheese, a little bit of lettuce, and then find a sweet chili sauce. The Frank's makes a sweet chili sauce. There's some other companies that make one. Try it out. I've had fish tacos with like a zesty cucumber sauce that was really good. Experiment with different sauces, but this is a different way to eat walleye, and it tastes so good.
Yeah,
It
it
tastes so.
was. I had it for the first time. We went to Lake Winnipeg, and I think I ate like 5 or 6 tacos. It was so good.
Yep, and it's a great way to eat up your walleye, and it's healthy for you. Super healthy.
And no fish is one of those superfoods. I mean, it's high in omega 3s. It's high protein. There's no fat in it. So,
Yeah, it's hard to beat.
you know, no, walleye's definitely, I mean, there's nothing better. I mean,
No.
it's probably the best fish in the world to eat. I'll go on record.
Yep. So yeah, that's what we do with that stuff. I mean, it's great to catch some walleyes in the summer. Great to have fish fries with your family and friends.
Yep.
Uh, Fun to make different recipes and different ways to eat them.
You know, oh, one thing I'll say, this might sound weird. I discovered this when I was a little kid, but if you put a little Parmesan cheese on your fried walleye, I don't know what it does, but it just makes it about 2 times better.
Yep. Parmesan cheese is good. What's even better is the next day, if
Oh
you have
yeah,
some leftover, you make a fish sandwich. I put a
yep,
couple pieces of toast in the toaster. I take some of that walleye out, maybe heat it up like 30 seconds in the microwave, piece of cheese, some Miracle Whip for those of you who can have it. For those of you that can't, I would just put another piece of cheese on there,
yep,
or butter.
yep,
So good. Nothing better.
no,
Nothing better than the next day fish sandwich in your lunchbox
yeah,
when you're
no,
hoping.
it's great.
Yeah, hard to beat. Hard to beat.
Yep, yeah, and so also our next podcast, we're gonna do a kind of a Q&A session. Had a couple requests for that, so all you loyal listeners, you can look at on our Instagrams. We'll put some Q&As on there. We'll put one on Facebook as well, so you guys can look. Otherwise, if you have somehow a way to contact us with a question, go ahead. I'll write them all down for next week's episode, and we'll answer all the questions we can. And yeah, we're having a lot of fun. So thank you guys a lot.
Yeah, and some suggestions for questions. It's also food plot seasoning.
Yep.
So if you have some food plot questions, we're going to talk about what we're doing for food plots because even though June is the time to fish, it's also a lot of time when the work in June actually gets your bucks killed in the fall.
Yep.
So we can answer some food plot questions. We're happy to answer any hunting questions. If you got some more questions about fishing, send them our way. Cooking wild game, we can help you with that.
Yeah, we make all our own jerky, sausages. We do all different types of fish. We've done it all with cooking. So
Yep. It's and we got a lot of. If we don't know how to do it, we got a lot of friends that know how to, and
yep.
so let us know what you want to hear, what you want to see, and we'll get that for you because we just want to help everybody have the best outdoor experience that they can, catch more fish, get more game, and just enjoy nature.
Yeah. So that about does it here for our episode 3 of Lindemann Outdoor Podcast. We want to thank y'all for all your loyal listeners, and if this is your first episode, go watch our old ones and check out our YouTube and our Instagrams. It's all Lindemann Outdoors or Jacob and Jeremy Lindemann. So yeah, like and subscribe, guys, and thanks, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.